Welcome to the Moon Magic Tarot channel. Thank you so much for joining me. We are doing a very special reading today. This is a yes/no set of readings. We're going to draw 3 cards from the Sacred Spirit reading cards to guide you in to whichever of the readings is speaking to you. But you know, we all, and this is reading number 1, absolutely, we all have to make choices, sometimes decisions. Do I do it? Don't I do it? Is it a yes? Is it a no? Whatever your personal circumstance, if you sit with that in mind, just with that decision in mind, and see which of these readings is speaking to you, that's definitely for reading 2, then that will be the reading that's right. We all have to make decisions, and sometimes we can be really torn or just undecided or having a wobble. So sit with your decision, your choice. These are the 3 cards that are going to be guiding you in, and we'll use a rune as well for each one, again just to help to guide you in, and also a charm. So reading 1, Mindful Wisdom. This is the energy that's going to support the yes/no answer, the yes/no decision for you for reading 1. Reading 2, Light Codes. Travel awaits you. So that is reading number 2. Reading number 3, Emotional Challenges. Resolve the issue. That's reading number 3. So whatever your circumstance, your question, those are the 3 cards that we've drawn. Let's put a rune on each. So the first card, Mindful Wisdom, we have the rune of partnership. Light Codes or Travel awaits you. We have the rune of the Spiritual Warrior. And 13th card, Emotional Challenges, Resolve the Issue. This is the rune of Harvest. Okay, so there's really interesting energy here. This one feels very dynamic. You know, the Spiritual Warrior rune, it's a very dynamic rune. It's really clear cut, usually in its sort of energy and directive. So we have, okay, we just have a little figure. Now, it's a little girl, but she looks very young. It's like almost like a little rag doll or a child. There could be a child involved. It could be your own inner child. But partnership, Mindful Wisdom, and this little rag doll, this little girl, we have a feather. So reading number 2, the card of Light Codes, the rune of the Spiritual Warrior, and a feather. Okay, very clear guidance. So this is your yes/no decision, your yes/no answer. And lastly, we have a spiral, Emotional Challenges, sitting with the energy. This is a very ancient symbol. There's something that is spiraling. Maybe it's spiraled down, but it could also, maybe the indication here, the yes/no answer might be to help you to spiral upwards again. And the rune of Harvest is a rune of promise. Okay, so wonderful, friends. Tune in with whichever of these readings is speaking to you. I'll put the timestamps in the information box and in the comments for phone users as well. And if you are not sure, just press the pause button. And if more than one reading is speaking to you, that's okay too. You might get information from both. And although we're looking for a yes/no answer, we will of course see what guidance Spirit brings, and you know, what extra information comes through as well when we draw tarot and oracle cards too. Tons and tons of love, and I will see you in the readings in just a moment. Welcome to reading number 1, beautiful people. So we have the rune of partnership. This is actually just even as our primary card and our little charm as well. This is a rune that indicates partnership. So your decision is, it's suggesting that your decision, the yes/no decision you're asking, is connecting to somebody very specific, another person. So it could be a friend, a family member. You know, this is a generic reading, so it could be an intimate partner or a business partner or a colleague, but it suggests that your yes/no decision is focused around a particular person. What is also interesting is that this rune actually speaks to us of not clouding our emotions, not becoming emotionally reactive. And so does the card of mindful wisdom as well. You know, mindful wisdom is a card with the owl, the magic of the owl, saying, look, let's just slow things down. Let's get really still and observe everything. Let's step away from emotional reactivity. You know, sometimes it even says that it indicates that almost like our inner child has been activated. So I'm wondering if somebody has really pressed your buttons, and that part of your yes/no decision here is really seeking guidance. Now, we are asking for a clarity around yes or no, but we're also going to, you know, see what additional guidance Spirit has around this situation and around your decision. Okay, so we have the card Sangha Community, 8 of Roses, but it's in reverse. And this for me is suggesting that somebody in your immediate world, it probably is your family or community or your work community, that's part of the problem here. So the first of the messages that is coming through with these cards, you know, as we're drawing them, is something has gone astray. Your buttons have been pressed. For some of you, it may even involve a child, but it could also be that your inner child has been activated or someone else's. But I feel like it's something around it. This is someone, your decision is your yes, no, you're asking a question. You know, I feel like it's, do I actually talk to this person? Do I approach this person? Do I try to bring it out in the open, or is it just feeling too raw? And it's interesting because in a way, I feel the answer is actually here, is actually yes, it is okay to speak to them. It is okay to move this forwards at the moment. We have the card of expansion. We have the Knight of Trees, Custodian. 7 of Angels, Progress. For me, this reading is very clearly saying, you know, this situation, the answer is yes. It is worth moving it forwards. It is worth having that conversation. It is worth, you know, speaking to that person. I think you may be feeling quite vulnerable around this, but the yes, no, I think this is actually a yes for you, actually, reading number 1. I'll draw some more tarot cards. Yes, we have the Sun. This is really promising a very positive and fruitful outcome. We have the 8 of Swords, which is really interesting. You've been afraid. That's what I hear. You've been afraid of speaking to someone. You've been afraid of taking it forwards. Do you know, your intuition actually says take it forwards, but there's some aspect of you or your inner child that's been triggered. You know, the 8 of Swords, it's like we're bound by fear, we're inhibited by fear, we're frightened. I'm just going to straighten our cards up for a minute, bear with me. There, that's better. So yeah, I actually think for a lot of you this is family, it's people close to you, it's whatever this partnership, this relationship. And I do think there has been a vulnerability, there's an emotionality, and it's almost something is stopping you, or something has been inhibiting you from feeling as though you can speak to this person about something. But actually the answer here is really saying, you know, trust your intuition on this. You know, there is a creative potential here to find some solution. Yeah, and interesting, isn't it? We have the card of death, which is a magical card actually of transformation. It means something will be resolved, something will get reborn. You know, this is a card that's ruled by the planet Pluto, and Pluto is a planet. The energy of Pluto is all about rebirth, emergence, rebirth, new life. So I feel like this is a yes, move something forwards here. Don't be bound by fear. Don't wobble. This is magical. It's a lovely card. Don't wobble. It says whether a minor one or a major one. It says, are you having a wobble? Whether a minor one or a major one, this is completely understandable. You are facing tough choices. But deep inside yourself, you know what you need to do, the High Priestess energy here. This card is here to validate your deeper knowing and the decisions you are making. As you move forwards, your anxiety will ease and you will re-find your balance. Now, if for some of you, this isn't about directly speaking to someone, another message coming through now. If it's simply a situation of being fearful of moving forwards, you know, you're having a wobble, you're facing big decisions, again, it is a yes. It is a good sign of moving forwards. The universe is both an ending and a beginning. This is the right time for you to take action. It may be that the wobble is actually, again, it's pressed your buttons, you're feeling quite raw, quite childlike about this, but actually you do know what you need to do. The thing about the Eight of Swords, I always feel, as a fear-driven card, it also tells us very often that our fears are unfounded. It's not going to be as bad as we think it is. It's that sort of, in fact, there may not actually be a problem at all. We're fearful, we've got tangled up in the fear within our head. And actually it's time, I think, to trust that this can be sorted. You can move your situation forwards, most definitely. I'm going to draw one more card from the Angel Answers. There, your card shows abundance. That's a really super validation as well. Whatever decision, whatever circumstance is happening in the realness of your world, this reading, in terms of yes or no, this is a yes. You know, we have fruitfulness, abundance. If you're thinking about investing in someone, if you are in a new relationship and you're not certain about moving it forwards, yes, it's time to. If you are, something is stuck here. Sangha, community, it's in the reverse position. It feels as though something is stuck, there's a hesitancy. Should I invest? Should I commit? Yes, there is a transformation coming here. Don't be bound by fear. You know, the abundance of potential will work its way through. You will get progress. You know, things are going to be guided through here. The Sun, creativity. Big cards here, look. The Sun, the High Priestess, Death. Powerful, big major arcana cards. So reading number one, I don't feel that we need to add anything else to this. I feel that it is such a clear guidance in a yes-no decision, depending on what that is for you. I feel for you because it's raw emotionally. I can really feel the rawness. I can feel the concern and the anxiety and the being locked into, you know, dare I take this forwards? Dare I move? What if it goes wrong? You know, what if it backfires? Or, you know, I don't want to be emotionally reactive. I don't want them to be, or just a fearful time of buttons being pressed. But actually this is absolutely a definite yes to your answer. So that is the guidance that spirit, your spirit guides, your spirit team wish you to know in this moment today. Now this is what we call a timeless reading, because let's face it, at any time in our lives we have decisions to make and we face those yes no choices. So Wonderful friends, I will put this in the Timeless Readings playlist, so that, and I'll put a link in with the timestamps too, so you can always come back and access them at any time you want, if you feel you need that extra guidance or one of the information from one of the Timeless readings that I do. I post weekly guidance from Spirit every Sunday. So if this is resonating and you've enjoyed the reading, you know, do please like, share, and if you would like to subscribe and get notification whenever I post a reading, if you press the little bell icon as well, then the reading should come into your stream. And Super Souls, I give away a free private reading and a pack of these cards, the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards, every month. It's a subscriber offer, and I have a subscriber email list. So if you want to add yourself to that, if you want to be in that draw, once you're on that list, you're in it ongoing forever. So if you want to get yourself onto that list and be in that monthly draw, I announce the winners once a month after the Sunday readings that I post with Spirit Guidance weekly. So do check those out if you're on that list. Tons and tons of love. Reading number 1, I really feel for you. This has been raw, it's been emotional, it's been challenging. It's really felt like you just have not known, is it going to be okay? Dare I move forwards? But actually, you know, can I have that voice, make that commitment? And this reading is saying absolutely yes. Wonderful friends, tons of love. Welcome, Super Souls, to reading number 2. And you've chosen the card of light codes. Travel awaits you. We have the feather, often an indication when we come across feathers that we are receiving divine guidance. Our angels are there. And we have the rune of the spiritual warrior. Now, this is really interesting because this is a yes-no reading. We're going to be drawing lots of extra cards. In fact, I'm going to draw from the Akashic Tarot first, I think. But, you know, in itself, this is really interesting because in one way, the energy of the card of light codes is about suggesting that there is going to be movement forwards. It's time to expand, to take your mission into the world. And yet the rune of the spiritual warrior requires discernment. It asks us to be very clear, to cut away the old, to make clear decisions. So actually, it may be that you are facing a decision as to which direction to go in. So the yes, no here for your situation may be applying to, you know, do I go left or do I go right? Almost, you know, there may be one or more directions available to you, more than one pathway, and your yes, no is seeking clarity about that. If that is the case, then I would suggest that you focus, if you know you already have more than one potential direction, and this is a yes-no reading, or series of yes-no readings, then sit with the different scenarios or the different possibilities or directions or alternatives. It's like if you've got 2 job offers, sit with each of them separately, and sit with one, write it onto a piece of paper or something, and then sit with that and seek one of the yes-no readings and then do the other, and just be interesting to see what kind of shows up with them. But there's something about decision making in all these. Uriel and the Sphinx. Paths unknown. This is so tuning in with exactly the energy that was coming through with light codes and the message already. There is, I think for you guys, there's more than one pathway open, and your yes, no decision is actually almost about which pathway do you actually need to take, and, you know, contemplating. What I would say quite interestingly here, contemplating, you could take a familiar pathway. So there might be an option that is it's almost like a safe way, the way that you're familiar with. And then there are other pathways that are going to open up very new and very different experiences. So this is very, very interesting, the energy of this reading already. Now, Uriel and the Sphinx, my apologies, Archangel Uriel. Uriel and the Sphinx is an interesting card because it suggests that there's work to be done, which means that the yes and the no, it's almost as though I find myself wanting, well, I should draw more cards first actually, but I almost want to say there's something to be done first before you have the clarity of the yes or a no. It's like there's more than, there's something else you need to see before you're able to make that clear decision, to be discerning. Let's draw from a second pack. Two cards. We have Ace of Hearts and Two of Hearts. It's very unusual for these to come out together. Union and love. Knight of Stars, Adventurer, and Three of Angels, Clarification. I feel like your yes-no question, your situation involves a risk. Now that risk could, when I say risk, I don't mean something like dangerous as such. I'm talking about a risk as in like risking to allow yourself to love someone, for example, if you've been hurt before, you know, or risking to embark on a new venture, risking to choose to commit to the pathway, the career pathway of your dreams, rather than just staying in a safe job kind of thing. It's like there's more than one option. This is very interesting. Let's see what else we're shown. The Lovers. Five of Swords. Three of Discs, okay. And the Magician. I'm going to draw an Angel answer card. This is really interesting. The card that just flipped out as I was picking up the pack, it says in the near future. Okay, so you're ready to invest. For some of you, this may be a love situation. You're not sure whether to ask someone out or not, or approach that someone. I think if this is the case for you, I think you really like them. And you're kind of you know when you really want to, but you kind of don't quite yet either. You're not quite yet clear, or you're fearful of their intentions or whether this will work. You know, it's stepping out of your comfort zone. Or if it's a creative project or something, again, it's you're right at the beginning. It's like, do I, don't I? Do I take that risk? Do I invest in that? This is really interesting because it's sort of saying in the near future. So in one way, this is not a definite no. If we think of the yes-no nature of the relationships, of the guidance that we're asking from your spirit team today, we're asking, you know, what is the guidance in this decision making for reading number 2? Light codes, travel awaits you. Something is going to open up and it will move forwards. But interestingly enough, I feel like in a way this is a yes, but it's not a yes now. It's a you need a little bit, you need to wait a little bit. It's in the near future, but something isn't quite in place yet. You know, the union, the connection is awaiting you. This is going to move forwards, but the timing is not quite right. That's really the information that this reading is saying. You know, the timing is of the essence here. It's not that it's not a definite no. If anything, it leans into the yes, but we're moving towards the moving of something forwards. But for some of you, you need to do a little bit more work first. There's a bit more nurturing to be invested in here before you can make the decision. For others, the timing is just not quite right. It will be right in the near future, but it's not quite right yet. It is going to move forwards. This is going to emerge. And when you move forwards, you have to let go of something. So it may be that the work in hand here is that you have to let go of something first in order for the timing then to be right. So if you were hurt in a former relationship, for example, and this reading is connecting to love for you, your question might be, do I reinvest in this, rekindle this relationship, or do I commit and take it to a stage further? If it's a new relationship, do I reach out to that person that I really like? If you're right at that beginning, do I join a dating site? So it's this sort of space of transition into something that's going to be a new pathway for you. And I can see you really want it, like you really want it from the heart. But you're undecided, you're hesitant, you're a little bit reticent, and actually there's something to clear away. So if you were hurt in a previous relationship, that hurt needs to be healed. You need to let go of that. If there is anything, I'm reminded of of a story that I read. It's in a lovely book by Catherine Woodward Thomas called Calling in the One. And it's all about actually energetically aligning yourself to call in your soulmate. But she speaks about her therapeutic work with people. She, like me, we are both or were both psychotherapists. I was a counsellor for 28 years. My work is now about writing and doing much more sort of spiritually orientated work. But in this chapter anyway, she was speaking with somebody and thinking about the environment that she was in. And when she got talking to this woman, she discovered in the bedroom, so this is the space where she wants to draw in and welcome new love, literally under her bed were boxes and boxes with all the paperwork from her divorce. So it's like the energy of that former relationship and a very challenging divorce were literally sitting under her bed. And this is a bed that she wanted obviously to welcome somebody in and share with. So there's this essence of something has to be let go of or cleared in order to then move forwards. You have something to bring forth here, and it's really, really right. So the timing will be right in the near future, but something must be let go of first. Okay, that's the message. It's like, or the timing is just not quite right. So either you need to let go of something, or you need to be shown something, or you need a bit more information so that the choice and the decision you make is very, very clear to you. But it will become clear to you, reading number 2. You're not going to have to wait for long. You're not going to wait for long, and the reading will become clear to you. Gossip and drama. Ooh, this is a really interesting card. Talking behind people's backs is one of the greatest producers of negative energy, with the potential to affect not only individuals but entire communities. Make a choice not to involve yourself in this. This card also asks that if you are unable to find anything positive to say, then please consider saying nothing. This is a really interesting card because, again, it's a generic reading, so whatever your yes-no decision is, or your yes-no answer that you are asking from your spirit team at the moment. This is where I think for some of you, again, a very specific message coming in that will be right for some but not all, is that actually the reason that you're having to wait, the clarification will come in the near future. The reason you're having to wait is because I think some information is not being portrayed entirely honestly to you. There's some stuff going on behind the scenes that you don't yet know about. Or you may even have been drawn into this and be believing of something that someone is saying, and it's actually not entirely true. You know, this is a very clear card. You know, detach yourself from that stuff. So that's then what you're letting go of. You're detaching yourself from the gossipy kind of, you know, or he said, she said, stuff like that. Removing yourself from that. Clearing away the sand, you know, when it blows over the Sphinx. You know, the Sphinx has been covered in sand numerous times in history. It's time to sweep all that away. Get rid of the cobwebs and then it'll be clear. Or get rid of the stuff that you might have been drawn into and then the way will be clear. So reading number 2, it isn't a sort of a definite in the yes or no scenario. It isn't that it's a definite no. If anything, I would say it is actually going to be a yes. But the guidance from your spirit team are, this is a yes, but the timing is not quite right yet. So hold back. Don't dive into this straight away. There's some clarity that's needed. Either you're needing to let go of something, say no to something, process something, or become more aware of the exact options or the details around an option for you. So whatever your yes, no is about, and I said right at the beginning, I felt like for some of you, there could even be more than one pathway available to you. That was showing up even before we got this card of paths unknown. I think if you just hold fire a little bit, it will become very, very clear. You know, you will get a clarity, and instead of worrying about which way to go, you will get clarity, and the way will be shown. Clarification will come. You'll know what the next step is. You'll know when the timing is right, and if there's more than one way, more than one option available to you, it will become patently clear as to which of those options is right for you. You know, it's one that's free of gossip and drama. It's one that's free of the limiting, clinging negativity of any of that kind of energy. This is, you know, about moving forwards with purity. And yeah, it's like having a mission. So it will be a yes in the near future. It's just not quite yet, reading number 2. So wonderful friends, if this reading is speaking to you, resonating with you, I just want to say another message coming through here. Yeah, when you are reaching that point in the near future, watch out for those signs, synchronicities, for feathers arriving that guide you, show you the way, like little confirmations, because your spirit team will speak to you. They'll be showing you signs and signals and orchestrating things around you so that you can see clearly and get that clarification. So if this reading number 2, if this reading is speaking to you, thank you so much for joining me, and do please like, share, and if you would like to get notification of any of my readings, this is a timeless reading, so it goes into a timeless playlist where you can always find all the readings that I do, often spontaneously, about random stuff, but the stuff that happens in our lives all the time when we just need that moment of clarity or guidance. So I will put it into those, I'll put that in the link to the timeless readings. I will put into the information box, as well as along with the timestamps. And Super Souls, I give away a free private reading every month and a pack of the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards. So if you would like to be in my monthly prize draw, it is a subscriber offer. So if you want to get notification of any of my readings, if you subscribe and press the little bell icon, you should get that coming through. And I post weekly guidance from Spirit every single Sunday. So that's just week in, week out. There are 3 readings to choose from every single Sunday, along with extras. So yes, if you want to subscribe, press the little bell icon. You should hear when I post anything new. And also, if you add yourself to my subscriber email list, once you're on that email list for the prize draw, the monthly prize draw, you will be on it forever unless you remove yourself from it. And I make the announcement after the Sunday reading once a month of the winners. So do watch out for that if you're on that subscriber email list. And I'll put all the links in the information box and the comments as well. Tons and tons of love to you. Pile number 2, reading number 2, just hold fast a little bit. It's happening in the near future, but the timing isn't quite right. But it will become right. You will get clarification. You will move into a new phase of adventure with a real sense of mission and purpose. It's just right now, it's not immediately now. So it will be a yes, but not quite yet. Tons and tons of love to you. So much love, pile 2. I mean, this is something that really matters to you. I really feel that from the heart. And, you know, when the timing is right, this is just going to be massive. It really, really is. And all this kind of stuff is just going to be left behind and a thing of the past. Tons of love, reading number 2. Wonderful super souls, welcome to reading number 3. So you have chosen emotional challenges. You have the rune of harvest, which is really lovely, because if you're going through an emotional challenge, this is suggesting a really positive and favorable outcome. So whatever your situation, it's going to produce something good for you. You know, it may be the learning or the growth. We have this spiral as well, which makes me really think about what has spiraled emotionally. Wow, your first card flying out, 7 of Forces, balance. Okay, so we need to be thinking, reading number 3. Did I just say reading number 2? This is reading number 3. Reading number 3. We need to be really thinking about bringing you into balance in some way, shape or form. Now, this is a yes/no reading. We're asking about a clear decision. We're asking your spirit team, your spirit guides, to help us and assist us in knowing whether this is a yes or a no answer. It was interesting in reading number 2, there was a yes, but wait a short while. Now, you know, the emotional challenges card invites us to resolve something, but how we approach that resolution, of course, is interesting. You know, is important. How we arrive at the harvest is important for us to know. This is sort of saying something needs to be brought back into balance. Something's out of sync or out of balance in some way, shape or form. Do you know, you just can't, you couldn't do this, could you? You could not make it happen. We have the 2 of Angels, balance. Okay, this is just, well, what can I say? Balance, balance, balance. Here we go. The shadow, fear. Oh my goodness me. Reading number 3. Oh, and there's your next card as well. We have the magician, impulse. Oh, I'm feeling for you. This situation has really felt, it's knocked you off balance, reading number 3. Whatever took place, it sent you into a massive spiral downwards, this emotional challenge. It really, really has. It's knocked you off balance. It pulled the rug out from under your feet. It's like someone threw you a curveball. It's thrown you into that place of really quite a lot of anxiety here. And it may even have been somebody's impulsiveness or even your own impulsiveness. Maybe you did an impulse something, an impulse buy or an impulse decision, and now you're thinking, oh no, it was the wrong thing, or you're wanting, I mean, this is a yes, no. Maybe you're asking, some of you, did I make the right choice? You know, you're asking yes or no. Did I make the right choice? Did I make the right decision? So, you know, there may be an aspect of whether you continue to invest. You know, the rune of harvest invites us to invest, but in the long term. We have to see something through in order to bring the harvest on. It involves nurture and, you know, yeah, nurture is required. I'm going to draw another of these cards, actually. Expansion. Let go gracefully. That's really powerful. That is really powerful. The universe is a card of both endings and beginnings. Five of Swords. This card came out in reading 2 actually, but it was in a very different, I think it was reading 2, very different context. Gosh. Reading number 3. Yeah, look at these lovely cards now. We have Princess of Wands, Ace of Wands. This is just fascinating. We've asked for a yes-no decision. And I'm actually getting both a yes and a no, but I'll explain what I mean, because that's going to sound really confusing, but I'm getting a yes-no around this. Yes, Strength. This is absolutely what we're meant to see here. So the yes-no that I'm getting is whatever knocked you out of balance or has knocked you off balance, whatever tipped you, whoever threw you a curveball, whatever circumstance or situation, if your question, for example, was asking, should I stay, yes or no, then it's a no. Let go gracefully, leave. It's time to end this. You know, take action now, really. But if you were asking, did I make the wrong decision? Then the answer would be actually yes. But don't blame yourself. Don't be angry with yourself for this. You know, you tried something and it didn't work out. You know, there's something about the connection, a connection that's been made here. A circumstance that actually has sort of like slightly gridlocked you. What I really want to say, and I've just got to say it because it's just coming through so loudly, this is not your fault. Okay? This is not your fault. Gosh, I just want to say it like again and again. Reading number 3, this is not your fault. You did not do anything to create this. All you did was to go along with something in some form of belief, and you got drawn into something, or you went into something with good faith, and it's gridlocked you, and it's time to let go. So if your question is, do I walk away? Then it's a yes. If your question was, do I stay? Then it's a no. This is why I'm getting this yes and no stuff coming through. Whatever this situation, it wasn't your fault. You entered into something with such good faith, with such good heart, but it's really gridlocked you, and it's like the fear now of not being able to act has taken over. You know, you felt kind of emotionally stifled by someone. And it's the fear, the gridlock around that is now stopping you from acting. It's like, I think because somebody has, or circumstances, whatever the situation, because whatever your personal situation, because it's been a challenge, it's almost as though there's now a fear of being able to move something forwards. You know, if you've entered into any form of connection with a circumstance or someone who is either manipulative or abusive in some way, shape or form, I almost feel like they've gridlocked you in fear. They've known how to use emotions as a weapon. And maybe for some of you, this has gone back to you've had your buttons pressed by a current situation that's reminded you of being gridlocked in your younger life. But I think for a lot of you, this is right here, very real right now. It's like you have been gridlocked in fear, and somebody's used fear to maneuver or manipulate you. They've stopped you, and actually it's time to move, to regain your power. And look at this. We have the Caduceus here, the Ace of Wands, the energy to start again, the strength to recover, to move beyond the situation, the Princess of Wands, personal empowerment. This is a reading that says, take back your power. I'm going to draw an angel card as well. No. Now, I've said this is a yes/no reading. And it feels like it's, you know, if you should leave, it's a yes, let go gracefully. But the reason this sits bang in the middle, because it's saying no to something unhealthy. It's like this division, look, between this bit here, no to all of this, no to the Eight of Swords, where you're gridlocked in fear, no to the Five of Swords, where you feel hedged in, you've been investing in something. You know, you gave your best, you gave your very best to this situation, but you got knocked off balance. Someone threw you a curveball, and this was not your fault. I'm going to say it again. No. I feel really emotional. It's like, just say no to this. Just say no. I do. Do you know, reading number 3, I feel really emotional here. This is huge for some of you. But you didn't know what you were getting into. I'm really feeling it. You didn't know what you were getting into. This was not your fault. You entered this with absolute, innocence, honesty. You didn't know. It was not your fault. And now it's time to reclaim your power. Start afresh. Let go gracefully. Something in your life is calling for you to let it go. Let go gracefully. Whatever has taken place in the past, it is time to move forwards, and letting go will make way for the new. Whether this is a person, a situation, an outdated thought or behaviour pattern, this card comes to assure you that new horizons are waiting for you. You will find your strength. You will regain your strength. The universe is really supporting you in moving from this. And for those of you, if this is a past situation, but it's still playing on your mind and you're still going over and over it, wondering what you did wrong or how you could try and put it right, it's time also to put that internal dialogue down. For some of you, this is very real, right here, right now, and it's time to leave this behind and let go. For others, if it is something that's a residue is left, this is a rune of harvest. Resolve the issue. Let go gracefully. The rune of harvest is a rune of promise. It says, you know, new potential, new horizons, a new harvest, a new phase of life awaits you. Say no to this and say yes to life. Reading number 3, I've really felt this one, and you know, I've had some tough challenges in my own life, so I know how hard it is to walk away, especially if you are the kind of person where you feel like resolution should always be about staying and persevering and trying to fix things. It's really hard to just up sticks and say, do you know what, no, enough is enough. But sometimes that is what we have to do. And I know, because I've been there, done that, and bought the t-shirts on more than one occasion. Reading number 3, if this has resonated with you, I am really feeling for you, and my goodness me, I am rooting for you. Reading number 3, I will be holding you in my prayers and my ceremonies, in holding that light and holding that space of new beginnings for you. Now, reading number 3, if you would like to get notification of any of my readings, I mean, if you've enjoyed the reading, please do like, share, and if you'd like to get notification, if you subscribe and press the little bell icon, you should get stuff coming into your stream on YouTube as soon as I post it. Now, this is like a timeless reading because it's a yes, no. I do readings around, you know, sort of like random questions, and I'm putting them into a playlist, so I will put that link in the information as well. I do also, if have a subscribe, I give away a free private reading every month and a pack of the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards too. So, and I post readings from you know, spirit guidance, weekly spirit guidance every single Sunday. So if you want to get those in your stream, obviously subscribe, press the little bell icon. If you want to be in the running for the free private reading and the cards, if you join my subscriber email list, once you're on it forever. And I announce the winners once a month after one of the Sunday readings. So if you tune into the Sunday readings for weekly guidance, you will get notification of the winners. So keep a lookout if you're on that list already. And reading 3, I am absolutely rooting for you. This is a rune of promise. This is a rune that says a new harvest awaits you. It is time to say no to something, and whatever that is for you, you know, even if it's something that was historic but you're still going over it, it was not your fault. You did the best you could do and you couldn't have done more. That's really clear. It is time to let it go, embrace your power and start afresh. You will find your strength again from the inside out. Reading number 3, I cannot send you enough love. I truly just send you all the love in the world, and I will be holding you in my prayers and my ceremonies, and holding that space of new beginnings and new possibilities for you. Tons and tons of love to you.